What is going on, everyone? It is Chicken here, and I am back from my hiatus, and I am here to tell you that we are going to be uploading more videos on YouTube. I saw a friend doing it, I saw a friend doing it that I used to play with a lot in the past, so I want to play with them and maybe some other people along the way. So let's get right into the game. Alright, so we are back in lane. I have a friend here. I have a friend here who is helping me out today to spotlight the newest champion that is on their way to League of Legends, and his name, of course, is Jihn. And Jihn is going to be an 80 carry, and he is quite interesting, in my opinion at least. So pretty much for today's video, we're just going to we're going to go over some of the stuff that makes Jihn himself and how special he is. So we're just going to farm up until 6 here, and we're not going to worry about killing each other or anything because we want to show you guys how this champion ticks. So basically his passive is Whisper. And Whisper, what it does is he has these 4 auto attacks, which you can see under my health and mana bar. He has these 4 auto attack things, and the first 3, which are marked with yellow there, the first 3 are regular auto attacks, you know, no biggie. But then the last one, which is pretty interesting, it's an execute. And for those of you who don't know what that means, which I would be very surprised if you don't know what that means, an execute is basically the more missing health they have, the more damage it does. So yeah, and also with the last auto attack, the last auto attack, which is the red auto attack, it automatically crits. It gets 100% crit, which is OP. So yeah, that's pretty much his passive in a nutshell. There's other parts of his passive that's too confusing that I don't even know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's really weird, but anyway, we're gonna just move on to his other abilities, and I'm gonna demonstrate my abilities now on my friend here, so just get ready for this, grr. So this is gonna be my Q ability. So what that does is, I don't know if you saw it there, but it'll be up here in a couple seconds. So what that does is it just hits the person and it bounces to the other things that are around them. And here, I'll demonstrate on... Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to hit Gur there, but basically what it does is... Here. It hits... Man, this is hard to explain. If it hits an enemy and it kills it, if it kills the unit, then it'll do more damage on the next unit that it hits. And, it's just a chain reaction of doing more damage in that case if it keeps on killing minions, or whatever unit it is. So yeah, that's his Q ability, and his Q ability, I forgot to mention, it's called Dancing Grenade. His W ability is called Deadly Flourish, and what that does is, here, let me demonstrate it on Gur here. You auto attack the champion, and you W, and they'll get rooted, which is what that was right there. And yeah, that's pretty much it with his W. I mean, there's not really much to it. It's just that, and I don't think there's a passive to it. Yeah, but here it is without the auto attack. Yeah, it doesn't really do all that much damage. So yeah. And his E ability is Captive Audience. And what Captive Audience does is, I'll just throw it in the middle of this group of minions there. What it does is it just... Yeah, that's pretty much all it does. And it just has a zone, and if an enemy unit walks over it, then it just does damage to them initially, and then after a few seconds, it'll blow up, I guess you could say. And it also, you also see the enemy units that are there, in the zone. So yeah, and like you see there, it also marks the enemy champion. Oh, I guess the mark went down. But it also marks the enemy champion that it hits. And you can use your W for... Yeah, you can use the W to root them if you need to. So like auto attack or that. And then root. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then his ultimate, which is freaking awesome. Stay right there, Gur. Right in the middle of the minions there. I will walk all the way back here, turn this way, and ult. And what it does is 2, 3, 4. What it does, you can go back to base if you want to. But it fires 4 giant missiles. I don't know if you would call them missiles or bullets, but missiles. And you fire 4 sorry. You fire 4 missiles that are all executes. So like I said earlier on what his 4th auto attack, this red one right here, what it does is it executes them. So like I said earlier, it just does more damage based on how low their health, how low they are health-wise. So yeah, that's about his kit. It's pretty nice. He's really good with crit. And one thing that I actually do remember now about his passive is his crits do less damage. And I'm sure this whole entire time you guys have probably been cringing on how whenever my 4th auto attack goes off, I get a little burst of movement speed. And yeah, so basically, instead of auto attacks doing more crit or having like more damage to their crit, instead of that, his crits do a little less damage, but he gets like a little bit of a movement speed, which is really nice. And he's really good for kiting, you know, if someone were to walk up to you, you could quickly, oh, I guess that didn't hit him, but you get the idea. You can auto attack, root them, and just start walking away. So yeah, it's really, he's got a really good kit. I really like this champion a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it to his kit. So now we will maybe go over some runes and masteries and maybe build order for items and stuff, and maybe some combos. Alright, so we are back, and we are going to go over some combos first, and then we'll get into some runes and masteries for this champion. So we have Scuttle here. We just took Scuttle. And so for the first combo, I actually went over a couple combos in lane, and we were brainstorming a few combos, and we both kind of realized there isn't a whole lot of combos you can do with this champion, because he's an ADC, so ADCs usually do a lot of auto attack damage. But in this case, this champion only has 4 auto attacks every, like, I don't even know. What is it? Whatever, it doesn't matter. He has 4 auto attacks every few seconds. So the first one I went over in lane, you can do an auto attack and W, and it'll root them. And a lot of these combos have to do with the root that it has. So good thing you have your heal. So one thing I can do is E, quickly auto, and it'll go off. His E will go off, and mind you, his E has ammunition, so you could put multiple down at one time. The one thing that's sad is if you put your Q down and you W, that does not work, which is quite unfortunate, but that's alright. There's not much you can do with that. But that's pretty much all the combos. If you have another combo, put it down in the comments. Love to hear your feedback. Now we can go over some runes and masteries. All right, so we are in the shop here. We are gonna actually go over some build right now. Some build paths. We'll go runes and masteries at the end of the video, but so I forgot to mention that. Or not that I forgot to mention. It's just that remember when I said earlier that I didn't realize like what the rest of my passive did. Well, I just figured it out. My friend and I actually just figured it out here. So I don't know where it is here, but he told me that attack speed increases your crit strike and your damage, your attack damage. So attack speed is where you want to go. The only thing that I would say not to do is not to get this item. You do not want to get Runin's Hurricane. It's just not a good item on him, considering he only has the 4 auto attack thing. And usually, if you want to say Caitlyn, for example, you would want to build Runins on her because, I mean, 1, she's an auto attack champion. She has unlimited auto attacks, and 2, it works with her passive. So you just really have to be smart with builds in this case. So 2 items that would be really good on him. Well, you would first, let's just go out with what you want to build first. So, as you can see, I have some of these items for this specific item, Essence Reaver. That's a good item on him. You usually want to build a little bit of crit first. What I usually do is I build Brawler's Gloves and a dagger. Excuse me, first back. And then I go straight for Essence Reaver. It's a little weird that I do that, but I go for the crit strike and the little bit of attack speed, and then I go straight into Essence Reaver. And then after that, I go into Rapid Fire Cannon, which is a good item on him. It increases his auto attack range so that you can get that root off and then shit on their face once they're done there. For boots, you would want to get Ionian Boots of Ludicity. Those are good for the CDR. What's the second item? I would go for an Infinity Edge after, because you do less crit strike damage. So this gives you crit strike damage. So you're almost counterbalancing it, so that you do like normal crit strike damage. And then the next item, what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 items. The next item I would get is... Screw you, minions. Nobody likes you. The next item I would get is probably Death's Dance. Screw you, AFK warning. But the reason why you would want to get Death's Dance is because, in my opinion, Death's Dance would be better than, say, Bloodthirster, because a lot of your kit has to do with doing damage. It's not auto attack damage. I mean, yes, you do deal a shit ton of crit, but Death's Dance will be better with the crit. It's hard to explain, but it heals for 15% of the physical damage dealt, as it says in the passive there. And it takes 15% of the damage as a bleed, which can be a blessing and a curse, but it also gives you 75 attack damage, which is the same as Bloodthirster. And it also gives you 10% CDR, which is really good on this champion. You need CDR. So that would be good. And then your last Death's Dance would be good, but your last item is kind of up to you. It's almost situational. If you're winning hard, then you would probably want to get a Static Shiv, maybe. Static Shiv here. But if you're losing pretty hard, then I would, depending on like who, so if there's a lot of CC, maybe Mercurial. If there's a lot of AP or CC, you would again maybe want to get Banshees instead of Mercurial. I don't know, but if there's a lot of tankiness on the other team, if that's how you would say it, I would get Lord Dominic's Regards. Or what would be a really good choice is Black Cleaver. That's the route that I usually go if it's tanky. I've played this champion quite a few times before. So I would usually get Black Cleaver as my last item just to round off the build. And then, of course, you would get your Elixir of Wrath if you're that far into the game. Even if you get to the, Black Cleaver stage of the game, I would buy that item. So now we're going to go into Runes and Masteries, finally. Alright, so we're back and we're ready to talk about some mastery pages and all that wonderful jazz. Like, did you just see that? Like, that's freaking OP. Like, come on. Anyway, so for like runes, my rune pages are super basic. They're not like any super hardcore LCS Korean freaking rune pages or anything like that. But I usually go for, in any of my rune pages, I usually go with 9 armor runes and 9 magic resist runes. Just for any, just for any rune page. Like I said, my rune pages are really basic. But, whatever you do for this champion in particular, I would get a lot of attack damage, and if you can, I would try and get as much attack speed as you can with getting some tanky stats, because he is very squishy otherwise. Or, if you just want to go maybe regular attack damage and armor pen, or, armor pen and attack speed. I don't know. Whatever you want to do is, everything's ultimately, wow, okay. Building crit, I see. Ultimately, everything is kind of up to you. So, yeah, that's as far as, rune pages go. So for masteries, I would go,
there is no drama.
There's 2 ways you could go. You could go either, you could either go, I still don't even know the, mastery pages all that well yet, but you could either go 18-12-0, or you could go 12-18-0. And you can max everything up to this mastery tier 3 mastery that I have, Warlord's Bloodlust. They actually have changed it on the PvE a little bit. And what it does here is this unit's next attack on a champion will send them into a Bloodlust, granting them lifesteal, which is pretty nice. So we're just gonna let him farm if he wants to. So yeah, you could do that for a 18-12-0 mastery page. Or if you want to go 12-18-0 mastery page, you would want to get the tier 3 mastery of Thunderlord's Decree. That frickin' tier 3 is OP right now. I don't know, and they haven't even changed it or anything. It's just really OP. Alright, so for the last thing, I am actually going to talk about Jihn's late game. And what Jihn's late game is it does a lot of damage, if you haven't kind of realized that already. If you build the right items, you have the right mastery and rune pages, which we have gone over pretty much everything. If you do all of that, you should be able to, I wouldn't say carry, because I'm not going to promise that you're going to carry every single game with this build in this guide, but I can say that you should do well. Even during laning phase, you want to be able to like poke down the enemy that you're laning with, and you really want to get them low and make sure to use your last execute auto attack. You want to make sure to use that with your W. Just auto attack the crap out of them when you can. Just kind of simple things in the laning phase. But then when it comes to late game, I don't know. You should, like, I wouldn't say play it safe, because in my opinion, this champion seems a little bit like an assassin, even though he's an ADC. Yeah, he kind of seems like an assassin, so wow, okay. He seems like an assassin that just does damage, and I mean, that's what assassins do, but yeah, I wouldn't play it safe late game. I would try and see if maybe if you have your support near you, I would make sure that they're with you when you go aggro on people. He's really good at catching people out, because of his auto attack W combo. He can just shit on anyone that shouldn't be where they are. So, and now for a special little treat that Gur has requested. I will now show you the death animation. He's been wanting all this time to kill me. So, alright, here it is. There it is. His mask, like, comes up and poof, dead. So yeah, if you like the video, go ahead and leave a like. Hit that giant thumbs up at the bottom there. Leave a comment if you like the video, or if you don't like the video. You know, do what you want to do. Your whole self. Do what your whole self is telling you to. But in actual seriousness, you know, subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, hey guys, I actually forgot to mention, if you are around this long still in the video, I forgot to mention kind of what this new channel is going to be about. I kind of touched up on it at the very beginning of the video, literally the beginning of the video, but I have had a YouTube channel for a really long time now, and I haven't really thought, I mean, I've thought a couple times about starting it up again, but now just kind of seeing my other friend that I used to play games with, just from seeing him having fun and restarting his YouTube channel, I've kind of thought that maybe I kind of wanted to do the same. So that's why I'm back here showing you guys a new type of video, because when I say new, I mean new in the sense that it's different than what I did before, because I was into Minecraft before, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I still kind of am, but I mainly play League now and a couple other games. But you know what? Now I want to share that love of playing video games with you guys. So I am starting up this new channel again to play other video games, not just Minecraft, not just League, just a ton of other games, some Let's Plays, but still having fun playing the games that I used to play and still play right now. So yeah, that's what this new channel is going to be about, and I really hope you guys enjoy my content, and yeah, and I hope I enjoy it with you. So see you guys later.